All right. So, about 365 days ago, give or take, Peter Overzet was generous enough to offer me a spot drafting a big dog team with him. What we did from there, draft one of the worst one of the worst best ball teams of all time, basically. So, tonight is redemption. Pete's going to join me. We're going to draft another big dog team, and we're probably just going to win the whole damn thing. So, join us as we draft the winner tonight. Peter Overzet, thank you for joining us tonight for a big dog draft.
Yeah, how are we feeling about our influencer skills? Can we fill this thing?
I would assume we can fill a 250. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to. I mean,
Okay.
we
All
have
right.
some people. We had people in the Discord and stuff saying they might jump in. Before we do jump in, what is your the way you're going to be moving forward with stuff like the big dog draft? Are you going to be doing more than one of these? I know last year when we talked, you were going to do like 5 or 6 last year. Has that changed this year for you?
I mean, really, the biggest thing I'm running into right now is time. People have heard
Yeah.
me say I'm moving over the course of these next couple weeks. So we just closed on our house. So I was over there doing stuff earlier, was cutting it close, getting here tonight. So that's my only thing. I'm actually going to draft. I believe I'm going to draft a big dog team with Brick
Mhm.
tomorrow night as well. So yeah, I'd like to get in a couple of these. I did a Dalmatian, did a Bulldog with some of the guys in the ship chasing Discord. So, like to splash around. We'll see if I can find enough money in the couch cushions to do a Mastiff here as well. But as I learned with the Dalmatian, the slow drafts just aren't quite as fun. Like if we're not getting
They
content
suck.
equity out of this, Ron, what are we even doing?
They're the worst. I hopped in a couple of the Pomeranians slows just to make sure I maxed the 15
Yeah.
because we're degenerates. And if you're going to give me free money, then I'm going to use it. And I'm dealing with actually, I think we've randomly got into one together and it's taken like 5 days to get through 5 rounds. And I want to just cancel it. Even
Oh
though I
yeah.
like my teams.
I'm pretty sure I'm still in some puppy one slow drafts, honestly. Like I really like to milk it, make a meal of it. I hope to finish that by about October. And
Yeah.
it's fun to see how much things change over the course of 4 months.
When you really get some new information by November and kind of understand what's going on, that's what we're looking for, right?
Exactly.
All right. So why don't we jump into this? And oh boy, we are going to be waiting. So let me share my screen. I was trying to be a little sneaky with it and seeing exactly what we could do. Maybe not get an influence, maybe not get all the badge brigade in here. And it did not go the way I planned. So
I'm sending Rudman a tweet. Big dog push alert, please. There you go.
thanks. Yeah, that usually helps. They got me with that a few times last year.
Yeah. Rudman will come in. Although, did I see? I think Rudman's in Panama right now. So, hate to bother him on his vacation right now. Actually, he's watching. Are the Patriots playing a preseason game right now?
Yeah, they're playing right now. I just saw the news that Damian Harris is basically the RB1. People are losing their minds over it because
we all want Ramondre to be the RB1.
Right. And I was going to talk to you about that. We need 3 people now to fill this. We were the first one in it. So this is
cut ourselves short here. The people are ready.
People are ready for it. So it's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. I was going to try to wait till we got to that area of the draft because there's Tony Pollard there. There's Damian Harris. And we've wanted Tony Pollard to be the thing for a few years. We want Ramondre to be the thing theoretically. But I think sometimes we forget that, these real NFL teams don't feel the same way we feel. And just because we want something doesn't mean it's going to happen. I understand the huge upside, but especially teams like the Patriots and Cowboys. Jerry Jones is running things. He wants Zeke to be the guy. They're going to keep pounding Zeke until, his legs fall off. And that's literally what's going to have to happen for Pollard to be there. And Bill's sort of the same way. If he thinks that he can use up Damian Harris this year, you're going to see Ramondre, but I just think it's not to the level that people are wanting.
Right. And the thing that's so interesting about the Ramondre stuff is, like, I'm not worried about Damian Harris for Ramondre. I'm worried about Ty Montgomery for Ramondre, because the bull case for Ramondre is he gets the pass catching work. And when you throw on some PPR points with him breaking off explosive plays, yards after the catch, like, now we're starting to really cook here, because we know how explosive he is. But if Ty Montgomery is eating into that pass catching work, I mean, it's GG for Ramondre Stevenson. He might as well be Ronald Jones at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sold on the Ty Montgomery thing, though. I don't know if that's the way they're going to play it. But then again, we are again talking about the way teams construct themselves. That's how they've done it almost every year they've ever been underneath Bill Belichick with this, other than the Corey Dillon years, basically. It's a three-headed monster usually, or in some capacity. So that could definitely be a thing with them. The other thing I want to point out before we jump into this is what I have set up for the overlay, because I've changed it a little bit from normal. So just because I haven't jumped in any big dogs, it would have been silly because everything would have been 0%. So the first percentage button, the 5% you see on Jonathan Taylor, is my overall ownership for Taylor across all tournaments. And then the next 0% is my ownership of this player with the first quarterback we draft. So that'll stay 0 until we draft somebody. And then the next 2 is the ownership of that player with the first and second round picks that we make. So those will be updating as we go through, and you'll start seeing some different colors pop up, and I'll explain those as we go. But we have filled.
There we go. We filled. Did we do that without a Rudman alert? Let us know if you got a Rudman alert in the chat. I need to know whether I need to thank him for his hard work tonight.
And the badges are out.
Oh, the badge brigade is out.
The badge brigade is out. And we get the
Virgin
9.
Badge Brigade with nothing else to do on a Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern.
And we get the 9 pick, which might be one of the worst picks, so that sucks. But we're still going to find a way to dominate this draft over these badge bros. I think they're better than us because they don't have to stream and draft players.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's every badge brigade bro should be required to do at least one stream draft. I think that should be the table stakes.
I think if they want to jump in a draft, they should be required to draft a running back with their first pick. That should be the requirement. You want to get in this draft with us, you want to throw your name on screen, you have to draft Derrick Henry as the 5th overall.
Well, that was like in the English Coonhound imaginary draft from my best ball guys video. They were docking points for week 17 correlation. I could see, how about an innovative draft format where you forced every badge bro to take a running back in the first round?
Yeah, once you qualify for a badge, that's one of your handcuffs there, right? You have to draft a running back in the first round. If you have a red badge, it's the first and second round.
Exactly. Yeah, so this feels like an Avalanche kind of night to me. You got your parka?
I'm ready.
Your flare gun.
We're both in the Northeast, so we're ready for these avalanches, I would say.
Yeah. We have not been ready for them in our main event drafts the past couple nights on Ship Chasing. They have caught us by surprise. I am always ready for them on Underdog. I was not ready for them on other platforms.
How are you attacking the top 5 while I'm looking at it? Are you still Cup over Jefferson? What's your stance there?
You know what's so funny is I am Cup over Jefferson, just like right now, gun to my head. The aliens tell me I can only make one selection versus them, but I have so much Cup. I'm at like 16% in BBM3.
Where do you want to go here?
Honestly, like, I'm so fucking scared of this avalanche. I think we just rip CeeDee Lamb and just not even hesitate.
All right. Do you want to go CeeDee, or do you want to get a little weird and take like Debo and get a weird combo?
I feel like we're going to be funneled toward a weird combo regardless. In the second round.
That's honestly a fair point. That's a fair
Yeah.
point. All right, we'll take CeeDee. Let me press the draft button so that we don't
Um,
go on autopilot.
but to recap that, yeah. So I am still Cup over Jefferson, but I have
Mhm.
just gotten so much more Cup because of this Jefferson stuff that I would like to get my exposures closer there, but I definitely have more Cup at this point.
I haven't been taking as much cup. I don't know if I can't remember. I didn't look at my exact percentage at that point. I've been taking a ton of Chase. I've been trying to get 20% of him across the board. So
Yeah.
I've been grabbing him a little bit earlier in some drafts. And I
Yeah.
still got my Jefferson exposure right around 8% doing that. But Cup's now the one that's kind of falling because of that.
I love how you have just correctly filtered to wide receiver, tight end here, just to get all the riffraff. I mean, I was about to get excited about Higgins. I mean, if we want to get weird, I've been passing on Evans in this range. I still think it's way too pricey. I'm fine with Andrews, Hill, or Brown.
Do you want to go Brown and get a little different?
Yeah,
Do Brown and get CD AJ Brown?
yeah, let's do
That
it.
that seems fun. All right, so now you can see that some of these are starting to fill in a little bit here, where like Tyreek Hill, we see 12%. We haven't drafted a quarterback yet, but our 7% means that we've drafted 7% of my teams are Tyreek Hill with who do we draft for our CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah,
So yeah.
it's so funny too because like I've been consciously trying to get some of these unique pairings when I'm at the back end of the first round in Best Ball Mania 3. So I've done, Kelsey Higgins, basically some of these pairings that I don't think are duplicated as often just because they're at different ends of the
Mhm.
draft board. And so AJ Brown with Lamb would be a perfect example of two guys you're rarely getting together based on their ADPs. But we didn't do that necessarily because we were trying to be unique. We were doing that because we're in a fucking avalanche room right
Right.
now.
Right, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been actively trying to do some stuff like that, especially in I think the puppy 3, I kept polling like the 10 to 12 spot or 9 to 12. So I was like, to just vary these teams up, it's in a puppy. Let me grab Debo Samuel with AJ Brown or some sort of something like that. Because my second
Yeah.
round pick, honestly, is Javonte Williams a lot. I'm a big guy. I'm a big believer in Javonte Williams. As you
Yeah.
can see, I had him at 23% right before he got picked. I just think if you just to give a little plug to Stealing Bananas, they have an episode out today talking about predicting the future next year's first round. And Gretsch had Javonte Williams at the 106 for next year, he thinks, and he had him all the way up at the 102. And that's how I've been attacking it the entire offseason, is I think he's going to be a sure first rounder next year.
Yeah. And I mean, Sean and Ben are the best. And I love that prism of just how you think about fantasy. It has permeated how I think about almost every selection.
Mhm.
And it's so funny. Someone was in our ship chasing mentions last night and they meant it as a pejorative. And yet it was the ultimate compliment. They said we were drafting our high stakes teams like they were $10 dynasty leagues. And I'm like, that is literally what we are trying to do. Not draft scared and draft the players who are going to be first and second round picks. Like you fucking nailed it. That is literally the goal of what we are trying to do here.
Yeah, when you play, I always go back to poker, as all of our listeners know. If you play a $10,000 tournament, you want to play it like you would play a $100 tournament, essentially, as long as all the rules and everything are the same. You don't want that to be part of getting inside your head. If you're going to play it, right? There's no reason to be a little nervous because you're stepping up in stakes. It's playing it within the construct of the rules and how you want to construct your teams, basically.
Yep.
All right, we're going to be coming back on the clock here. Do we want to filter out the RBs again?
Yeah. I mean, I like Waddle at Waddle at 3A. I mean, we'll see if Coakley takes him or Igloo. I mean, Corey loves to get his quarterbacks here. Corey, you didn't want to, you fraud. I thought you loved quarterbacks.
All
Who
right.
are our running backs here now, Rob? We might be able to take a detour.
Fournette, Nick Chubb, James Conner.
I'm fine with Fournette or Chubb here.
I'd rather take not that I'm big on either of them, as you can see, but I'd probably rather take Fournette and just get some of that Tampa offense. Would be the way I would like to play it, especially the way that team's shaking out right now. I don't love Leonard Fournette by any means, but of all the ones that were there, Fournette makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
So
Fournette is the guy that I only get exposure to in the piss boy rooms, and I always have a hard time stomaching him at the 2-3 turn because you're having to often pass on AJ Brown, T Higgins, sometimes Javonte Williams is there.
mhm.
So I get my exposure in these rooms because I do see the upside case. He's not my favorite player. It's hard to stomach it and select it, but when we're going to get him at these prices, I'm okay with it.
What are your thoughts on Terry McLaurin here as we look at him being the top wide receiver left? Is that someone you'd be interested in? I don't hate him. I don't love him.
I've been passing on McLaurin. I've been taking Judy, Deontay Johnson over him. I don't know if I would take Juju over him, but I've been fading McLaurin.
Do you want to get Judy to try to set up that Denver KC game at some point?
I like that.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, I think I'm a little spooked on McLaurin. I mean, Dotson having an incredible camp. I think Dotson's really undervalued right now relative to some of those other rookies.
Mhm.
And, you know, if you're taking on the risk of like the Washington offense just not being good, or you're wanting to play it as Sam Howell takes over later in the year, I just would rather play that through a much cheaper avenue. And like being able to, you know, hitch our wagon to Russell Wilson here, or even if we wanted to take Juju with Mahomes, like the McLaurin stuff is a really tough click. I feel like we're living a little bit in the past on what McLaurin has done.
I don't middle things a lot, but I'm very middle on McLaurin. So it's like, yes, like every point that you make for him, I'll agree with, and every point you make against him, I'll agree with. It's like, yeah, he's Terry McLaurin. Just to keep the people updated, now that you're starting to see some of these names pop up in a different color, that just means that when it's blue like this, they're correlating with a week 16 or 17 matchup, and you'll see it pop up on the schedule here as well.
Yeah.
In that color. And when we have a quarterback, those will actually change to purple for players that correlate with our quarterbacks.
Can I see our whole team? I've had a few margaritas tonight, so I need constant reminders.
I'm never drinking again after last night. We have Fournette, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Jerry Jeudy.
Okay, cool. And I assume both Waller and Kittle are already off the board, right?
No.
Oh no, they're on the board. Okay, all right.
Both are on there.
All right. I guess this room isn't as sharp as I thought it was.
Oh, calling out the Badge Bros.
The Badge Bros.
So for me in the 5th round, not that I want to tip our hand too much, and it doesn't mean we're actually going to do it. I'm massive on 5th round quarterbacks right now.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at my Mahomes exposure, it's pretty out of the stratosphere.
Wait, is that your BBM3 exposure? 39%?
My BBM is actually higher. It's probably about 41%. But this is across every tournament on Underdog right now, other than super flexes, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, the Mahomes stuff is nice. Sometimes in these rooms that are really wide receiver heavy, and it depends on like our build. So like obviously here we have, Jalen Hurts. So if you want to pass on Mahomes there, we have Dak, who's generally been pretty cheap and affordable. And who is our third wide receiver?
We have Judy.
Judy and Russ. So
yeah.
I always think about like the pockets of our QB stacks there makes it seem like this would be a fade. The 5th round QB, just because we have natural stacks in, 6th, 7th, and 8th round.
Yeah. And we were talking. So Mr. Fister, of course, takes Patrick Mahomes at 502 here. But that's fine. Like you said, we have stuff set up that we can be looking at that. I just think that like Mahomes going around the same range as some of these quarterbacks, when people are getting sharper on quarterbacks, it just makes so much sense to just pound them there.
I'm with you.
A lot of the time.
I was Kittle. I mean, even in this room, Kittle at 54 feels pretty nice to me. KZ gets Zeke at 53.
Not bad value. I was taking Zeke in the 5th round when these started, and he kind of slid up, which I expected to happen. I wish I took him a little more. Do we want to see what we got for wide receivers here?
I'm ready to take my detour from my guy Brees Hall here, but where are you at on that?
I'm Akers over Hall.
Okay.
but I don't hate Hall. And the only reason why I'm Akers over Hall is I think you can, if you want Hall, we can take him. It's fine.
My only thing about Akers is like Akers will sometimes legit fall to like after pick 60, and Brees never falls there.
Gotcha. The only reason why I'm a little Akers over Hall is it goes down to like the absolute rudimentary fundamentals of who plays on the better offense, who's going to have more scoring opportunity, and who's probably going to get a little bit of a bigger workload. We can't really tell with Brees Hall yet, but I know that we know that the Rams historically want to play one guy at a high percentage, right? So all those things tell me that Cam Akers is probably going to outplay his ADP currently.
Yeah, and I guess to me the most interesting argument here wouldn't, not that you didn't make good points about Cam Akers, what would have been, should we have taken wide receiver, knowing maybe there was a chance one of Akers, Hall, Dobbins made it back to us here. But I do think depending on what this guy does, I mean, Hurts feels pretty nice for us here.
You want to grab? I'm
And
never
if
going
you
to say
want,
no.
I don't want to turn down your guy Akers if you want to kind of go with a hyper fragile thing, but Hurts in this kind of room feels nice.
No, Hurts is fine for me. I love Hurts, and I've actually Hurts is the player I was thinking of earlier today because during hangovers, the only thing I think about is Ghost and fantasy football. So I'm thinking about my exposure to Jalen Hurts and how I want to try to up it a little bit because I love AJ Brown. I love Devonta Smith. So I'm still at like 12 to 13% overall on Hurts, but perhaps I want to get a little bit higher if I'm making that big of a bet on the Philadelphia offense.
Well, yeah, exactly. And in this draft too, it's a little different of if you grab AJ Brown, who's falling, in the early to mid third versus reaching for AJ Brown. Like we have already planted our flag on AJ Brown being a top 5 wide receiver when we took him where we did. So to correlate that further with with Hurts, I think just makes so much sense.
I'm sad to report that I have 1% David Montgomery.
Wow. What a fish.
I think I might have auto drafted that. There's no way I drafted David Montgomery.
That's the only excuse. That's the only excuse.
It has to be. Who knows what tournament that's in too? That could be on any of my tournaments. So
I actually get all of my David Montgomery exposure in the Pomeranian.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a couple guys like that. Mike Thomas, when you see him pop up, I have only auto drafted Mike Thomas.
Really? I think I had a phase, we all go through our phases. I had like a 4-day Mike Thomas phase, and I think I got it out of my system.
Good.
Yeah.
The best
just experimenting a little bit,
Dude, we're talking about a guy that's been injured for 2 years. I do not like seeing Christian Kirk go already.
Jesus, Christian Kirk at 6'12".
I also have 40% Christian Kirk right now, just so you know. Those are the guys I'm planting my flag on in these tournaments are Mahomes, Christian Kirk, and MVS, basically.
Yeah. Kirk is, Kirk's an interesting one just from an ADP standpoint because he's not the sexiest name, and yet his ADP just hasn't really budged. Obviously, he goes higher here than he does in BBM3 drafts, which makes sense, but he's just a guy that has just a rock solid ADP where people are not letting him slip. And I think that's right.
And we were getting him a lot later earlier in the year too. So I think it was like 11th round Christian Kirk to start when BBM started. So I was just pounding the button every time. He was my 4th or 5th wide receiver. And it's like, if the number 1 wide receiver on a team that I think is going to take some steps forward this year, especially in the passing game, is there, why am I not going to make him my 4th or 5th wide receiver almost every time?
Will you remind me? I actually haven't looked at what's the exact advance rate structure for the big dog?
I don't remember. I'll take a look after.
Well, because I thought it'd be an intro. Okay, Russell Wilson goes off the board because I was wanting to think through the double elite QB in this structure, but we don't have to have that combo now.
I do. I mean, we don't have to have the complete combo, but I do like doing that sometimes.
Me too.
Getting the double elite. It feels really good. And I think you can still build really good teams around that. So I don't hate it.
I like to make sure I'm getting a discount on one of them. I never like reaching for both the double elite QBs here, but Russ at 81. Doesn't feel bad. What are you looking at tight end here? I assume Hawkinson is still on the board, or is he gone?
Hawkinson's there.
Okay. I don't know how you feel about Hawk. We probably don't need to do it here. He's early. What's our wide receiver situation? I mean,
You want to take MVS?
I know you love MVS. I'm good with Burks. I still think Burks in this kind of room here, Burks or Olave is probably what I would do, but I'm always good with MVS too.
The one that I will do, and then I will probably lean towards whatever you want going forward, is MVS, because I feel like I have to have him at least on this big dog team that we're doing. And he correlates with Jerry Jeudy.
I love, like, I saw Rob's eyes glaze over, and it was, Pete can say whatever he wants here, but I am selecting MVS. I saw that happening from a mile away.
I was fine with the Hawkinson take because it's not bad. It's just when I know we're going to be getting pounded at the wide receiver position, taking MVS as our fourth feels good.
Let's have a conversation about Hawkinson versus Burks, because as much as I like Hawkinson, as much as I think he can sneak into the elite tight end tier this year, we are in a crazy wide receiver room where stuff is getting, I mean, when Julio Jones goes off the board at pick 87, I'm like, we should probably take fucking Treylon Burks here.
Let's take Burks.
Let's do Burks.
And everyone's favorite, got our week 17 correlation with CeeDee Lamb. So all of our wide receivers are correlated in some aspect. Even AJ Brown week 16 with CeeDee.
Hang on, put Swoosh's comment on here. I'm ready to do a 25-minute course on week 17 correlation. Swoosh, where you been, Swoosh? Here's the thing, Swoosh. A lot of us, the way we draft is we don't care about the first 16 weeks of the season, and we just play for a massive shootout in week 17. And of course, in week 17, the Broncos famously play the Chiefs.
Yes, which I made sure to reference in my week 17 shanty multiple times.
That was incredible. You've been doing lots of good work with the videos. That was the peak, I think, this summer. It's sometimes I think that's the questions I get is like, what's the story behind making that? When that's the question people have, you're onto something good. When I watched your shanty video, I was like, how the fuck did this come together? And how did you convince your friends to record this?
Well, it really helps when your best friend has been a music producer for the past 10 to 15 years. And all I have to do is call my friend Jesse, who is one of my co-hosts on Hometown Ghost Stories. Not to plug my own show, but one of the things that I think makes that show great is our music. He just absolutely knocks it out of the park with the music on that show. And I was like, I got an idea. I just came across the Trailer Park Boys cat shanty for the Wellerman. And I'm like, I can probably do a best ball version of this. Can we record this song? And he's like, yep. And anytime I call Jesse to do something like that, it's always yes. So it's a great thing to have in my back pocket. So shout out to Jesse Wilkins, DJ Double Take, for helping with anything along the lines of that.
I was thinking about doing a bit tonight where I pretended that I was coming on Ghost Stories and that I just tweeted out that I'm about to talk about a haunted house outside of Boston right now. It's just only talk about ghost shit during the entire draft, but I chickened out.
Do you want to just have an investigation in your new house and see how haunted it really is?
Yeah, I was just over there earlier. I was getting a little scared in the basement.
Yeah. No, I mean, open invite to come on that show anytime, Pete. There's a lot of good things happening with that show right now.
Did you ever do the one with Eric where you made him go to the scary house in St. Louis or whatever?
If we're just going to start calling people out, Eric has bailed on me on that show about 3 times now. Usually for good reasons. I think one time, like, they legitimately almost had a tornado, but yeah, he's bailed on me 3 times on that show now. And
is this like you basically have told him a location that he should go scout out and then report back on the podcast, basically?
No, so we do like a whole pre-produced 15 minutes on that show where we actually do like a narration of the area before we do a group discussion. And he said, hey, can I go get any footage for you since I'm right in the area? Because I was trying to tailor it to where he's from, right? The episode. So I did around the St. Louis area. And I'm like, yeah, can you go to Zombie Road and just take some videos? He goes, dude, I'm not going to a place called fucking Zombie Road. I'm like, what do you think this show is? Like, what do you think we're doing here? So yeah, that's the story behind that.
Did I see you? Did you guys just were you picked up by a network? What was it? You had some piece of news on that.
Yeah, so we just signed a contract to join a podcast network, and
Nice.
we're pretty excited about that. And
it's called, you said it's called Spike Week?
Yes, it's called Spike Week. No, I haven't announced the name yet, but fuck it, it's Bloody Disgusting, which is one of the biggest horror movie review sites there is.
Holy shit! An exclusive in the horror. How many horror fans do you think have made it to minute 30 of a Big Dog draft to get this exclusive here?
I've weirdly had people cross over between the two shows, and it's fun. It's fun that they do, because there's no correlation between fantasy football and drafting. And we
well, that's why it's such a powerful correlation, because the field's not on it. Jesus Christ, look at these running backs.
And it's not that I just have. Go ahead.
Do we want to do a little Miles Sanders with our Eagles bet, or
No.
is this?
No, I don't want to.
Let me see the tight ends. Ugh, no. Let me see the wide receivers. Ugh, no, we have to take Miles Sanders.
We have to take Ramondre Stevenson, because we talked him up.
Jesus Christ.
We can't take Miles Sanders. He's not going to be the starting.
What do you mean talking him up? I just funny and said he was going to lose pass catching work. Are we drafting a team together, or am I just here to watch you draft the steam players?
No, you're getting the rest, but Miles Sanders sucks. We're going to start there. Like, that is like analysis. He
doesn't suck. The hate on Miles Sanders has gone way too far. You guys all got influenced by him saying, "Don't draft me on the on your fantasy teams." It was a false flag.
No, it's gonna be Gainwell there this year.
Well, you want to know what? We're not going to get Gainwell, because he's going to go in the fucking 12th round in this draft.
You should have led with that. That's what you should have led with on that one.
God, do you even correlate, bro?
All the time. All the time.
We went through the tiers. They were fucking wiped out. It was time to correlate there with Miles Sanders.
We can still correlate.
Don't hate, correlate. Hey, but at least Josh Jacobs will stay on. And now we're gonna have to fucking take Josh Jacobs.
50 picks past ADP.
Like, you guys have fucking jumped the shark. If you don't take Josh Jacobs, we do legitimately have to take Josh Jacobs at pick 112.
This team is gonna be very different from every other team that I have ever drafted.
Look, I'm glad. Hey, don't make me the asshole. Don't make me the asshole.
I invite Pete on for our $250 team, and he demands I draft Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. Put Eric's comment up. So I always disagree with this. I think where people get in, we talk about this a lot. There's two types of correlation. There's single game correlation, play-by-play level correlation. I'm guessing that's what Eric is referring to in this sense. But the correlation I'm talking about is over the entire season, where we are betting on the Eagles to be the fucking smash of all smashes. We took AJ Brown in the early second round. We took Jalen Hurts as our QB1. We need this offense to be all fucking world. And if they are in the red zone and they are scoring a shit ton of points, I promise you, Miles Sanders is coming along for the season-long correlation ride there. So that correlation is just as important, if not more important, in a smaller field contest like this.
Do you want to side bet Miles Sanders versus Kenneth Gainwell?
For sure. Sure. Right. Yeah.
What do you want?
Straight up? Straight up.
More fantasy points.
More, yeah, whatever amount you want to do.
You tell me what you want to do, and I'll do it.
I mean, I'll do however much you want on this one.
You want to do 100?
Yeah.
All right. Booked. Let's do 100 on that. I feel
underdog half point PPR points.
Sure. Underdog half point. $100.
I'm not letting you get sneaking in a little full point PPR on this side bet.
No. And I feel like I just stole $100. And I thought I thought we were friends, and then you hit me with a stale chair. So I guess we're not that close. So
I mean, I did request multiple takes for that scene, not because I didn't feel like I nailed it, just because I was enjoying hitting you with a
That's
steel
what I
chair.
figured. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were crushing every scene, and then you're just like, oh, can we do it one more time?
I made you stay there to do like nine scenes.
Yes, exactly. Um, yeah, so
I
you
don't.
should.
The only
Go
way, like, so why aren't you a board bro? I mean, when I love showing the board when I'm
ahead.
drafting. I have no clue what the fuck is going on here because you haven't shown the board.
So the only reason I haven't been showing the board lately, because I usually do, is just because I've been showing off the tools that we have for the percentage correlations and
Why
all
don't you
that
show
stuff.
off the tools in our draft room? All these fucking asshole bad tools.
So that's the only reason why I haven't been using the board as much lately. But yeah. Anyways, you should definitely jump on Hometown Ghost Stories at some point, though. It'd be fun for you to do something a little different. I bet you'll have a good time.
I mean, what does it even entail? Do I have to go on location? Do I have to do my 100 hours of research? Actually, dude, do you know which one? Are you familiar with the Fernal school in Waltham and what that used to be? The Fernal school?
The Fernal School in Waltham? No.
So yeah, it was. Well, first of all, interestingly, they just sold the land back to the city, but it used to be like this weird kind of psychiatric ward where back in like the 30s or 40s, they were even starting to do some like eugenics testing there, like very sketchy shit went on there. And it feels very haunted to me whenever I run by there. So I would be interested in doing a ghost stories on the Fernald Center.
All right. We'll talk about this in a second. We are on the clock.
I mean, fuck. How many running backs are we at, Rob?
We have 4. We're 1, 4,
Ugh.
5.
What's our tight ends? What's our tight end spot?
We don't have any. We got Alberto on the board.
Fuck. I hate this tier. Yeah, sure. Just take Alberto. Oh no, we took Walker. I don't mind Walker at what.
I mean, I don't either, but it said we had 2 seconds left.
Rugged again.
That's
all
fun.
right, I need to stop talking about ghosts and get us back on track here. What's our quarterback situation too here?
Looking at the Fields to Winston area.
What are our stack options? I can't tell, Rob, because you won't show me my team.
I'm sorry. So all of our stack options are gone except for Tennessee.
Yeah.
Basically.
And I mean, we can do so. I mean, once you take Ramondre at that price, I mean, I think we basically have to be done taking
running backs.
I'm fine with Hardman if we want to.
I didn't hear. I mean, we can do that. I didn't hear the report on him. Do we know?
I think he's fine. Do you have anyone else? I just think we should go wide receiver here. I don't mind going with a punt tight end build.
Do you like Galladay or Chark at all?
I do.
Do you like either of them over Hardman?
I kind of like if we made the bet on MVS, I don't know, just making the bet that the Chiefs are unstoppable and that MVS and Hardman are kind of rotating the big games. I don't know. I'm trying to talk myself into it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. They're all the same to me almost. I guess Galladay I don't like at all, but like Hardman and Chark are kind of the same player where we're not looking for them to score every week. They are like legitimately spike week plays. So they're just the same to me. So if we're going to bet on Kansas City, I don't hate it.
So, yeah. So basically, I think with our structure right now, the big question is, can we get away with a 2 QB build? And then if that's the case, then we're 3 tight ends.
We get 20 rounds too.
Oh, this is 20. Okay.
That's the one thing I do remember is the big dog's 20 rounds.
All right. So I think this could be a 3 QB, 3 tight end build potentially.
Yeah, and I think we can even galaxy brain the third quarterback. I have an idea on that if we wanted to later. So right now we have Hurts, Fournette, Breece Hall, Ramondre, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Jerry Jeudy, MVS, Traylon Burks, Mecole Hardman. I actually do not hate the team overall.
I don't hate the team at all. I just hate only being able to see one player on our team at a time because you have this browser window size like a fucking paperclip.
I have to, if I go out too much, then you can't read anything.
Can I ask the chat right now, if we were to accidentally cover up the words draft club and become a winning best ball player, would that really diminish the viewing experience for you guys? Okay. All right. Now we're starting to cook here. Can we see the fucking board? All right. Okay. Now we're on to something here. We're on to something.
How
Now I know
Pete?
what's going on.
Margarita Pete striking, attacking me on a personal level.
I mean, come on. Yeah, look at the chat. The chat. Let Rob know if you can see anything right now.
I'm just gonna block everybody, I think, because what's gonna happen here? All 111 of you are about to get blocked hard, including Pete.
You know, a lot of these idiot streamers only care about themselves, and they're not actually caring about their audience and then being able to see what the fuck is going on in these drafts.
I mean, half the time I don't even know what's going on, to be fair. So yeah. So what's the name of that school one more time, just so I can try to imprint it in my brain?
The Walter E. Fernald Developmental Center.
All right.
It became a poster child. I just confirmed it here for the American eugenics movement during the 1920s. Like absolutely sketchy shit went down there.
Sounds great. So you wouldn't have to do anything for the show. We do all the research. We put together a 15, 20-minute pre-produced narrated portion of the thing. And then for like 40 minutes, we talk about it.
Yeah. And I feel like we probably need to squeeze it in soon because like I said, they did sell the land back to the state of the city of Waltham. And I think they're going to like turn it into a fucking go-kart place or something. So we got to get in there while it's still spooky as shit. Cause I'll run by there and they have all these ominous signs where they're like, you can't go in there, no trespassing. One time I did circle through there and there was a cop car kind of doing circling. So there's some shady shit still going on there.
All right, that will be part of my 30 weekend projects to look into.
Star Kidler says, I've been watching the entire draft and I couldn't name one player on your team.
Yeah, well, neither can we.
Check in for the audio listeners, Rob. We're on the clock. Get off the running backs. Get off the fucking running backs. We should probably take a tight end now.
So we got Gesicki, we got Everett, Njoku.
Are we out? I mean, I love Everett. I'm at the point where I'm probably taking Everett over Gesicki, right?
I'm out on Gesicki. So like I like Everett and I like Tanyan here. Those are the two guys in this range that I
let's do Everett to start. We're gonna end up getting a bunch of these guys.
Yeah. So we'll do that. And quarterback still looking a little gross. We got Jameis, Daniel Jones on the board up around here. Mac Jones is down a little bit.
I don't mind. I mean, with the 2 extra rounds, I do really think both considering the 2 extra rounds and considering kind of where we're at structurally, obviously a 3 tight end build. And I do really think we're probably looking good at a 3 quarterback build as well.
Yeah, I think with a 20, it's fine. I do it when I do draft on DK. I've been doing some 3-3 builds.
Yeah.
But it's miserable to draft over there. So now that we've drafted a tight end, do you want to double click or do we want to look at wide receiver here?
What is the top of wide receiver? Is there any fun names left?
We're looking at Van Jefferson, Alec Pierce. I don't hate Alec Pierce.
Yeah, we don't have it. Do we have a ton of youth in our wide receiver room here?
We got CeeDee, AJ Brown, Judy.
Okay, Burks. Yeah, no, let's tack on another rookie here.
So we'll take Alec Pierce. I do like that.
Gives us another stack option too.
Yeah, it gives us a stack option, and it also allows...
Guys, Rob, the chat's telling me it's 18 rounds. I trusted you.
I thought that they were doing 20 on the big dog
board?
Again.
If the board was up, I could tell you how many rounds it is. Scroll down, Rob.
Oh my God, it is 20. It is 18. It was 20 last year, wasn't it? No, wasn't it 20 rounds last year?
It was. It was 20 last year. However, it is no longer.
I assumed that they would have just ran the same settings on it.
Well, I don't know. So much for my 3 quarterback, 3 tight end build. That just went out the window.
It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna run it under the same name, I just assumed we were doing the same rules.
Go back to our structure. We need to now go back to the drawing board.
All right, so we got Hurts, Fournette, Breece Hall, Ramondre, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, CeeDee, AJ Brown. Go ahead.
So we have 2 more picks that are going to tight end, 1 more
Mhm.
pick that's going to quarterback, and then we have to make a decision on if we're going to go 3 QBs or how many wide receivers are we at right now? 7?
I believe we have 7.
Yeah, so I think we need to go skinny with 2 QBs and we need to get to 8 wide receivers. So 2 tight ends, 1 more wide receiver, 1 more QB.
And I don't think we need any more running backs unless
No.
something ridiculous happens, which I can't
No,
imagine
there's
happening.
nothing. There's nothing but cute unselect running back here.
So we'll get that back up on the board. We'll go back to the board so I don't get yelled at again. So since the chat's so smart, what is the advance rate on this? Let me just ask them. I'm trying to remember what it was last year. Was it 3 last year? Advance to the playoffs?
Rob, you're the one that invited me to do this draft. I assume that you had read the terms and conditions.
You're the underdog influencer. You're supposed to have every single draft memorized on what's going on.
Dude, you want me to tell you the fucking Pomeranian settings? I'll tell you that inside and out. This is my first big dog. Look at the chat. Look at all these geniuses in the chat. This is why they didn't need the quote aspiration of becoming a winning best ball, because they've already looked at it. They've done their research.
Yeah. So the good thing is every team advances to the playoffs. Basically, it's 4 teams out of the 12. So we should be good. And somehow yet we didn't advance last year because we decided that we wanted to make a bet on the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, our team was. Here's the thing though, what I do is I draft very polarized teams with the Spike Week bros. I either bomb with Rob or I draft the Nuts team with Eric. It's one or the other.
Well, this year we're drafting the Nuts team, and you and Eric's team can go to shit for all I care.
Yeah, it probably will.
Are you guys
filter out running backs?
I did have it filtered out, and then it came back.
Gesicki, did we? If we funded Gesicki all the way to 177, we do have to take it.
Yeah, that is true.
And I don't know if you know, but the Dolphins do in fact play the Patriots in Week 17.
I know because the Patriots are highlighted in this beautiful cyan color that I made our web developer add. All right, so you want to go?
Let's do it. Yeah, we're taking. I mean, you guys have fucking jumped the shark. If you're passing on Mike Gesicki, this is what you do. You say you're out on Gesicki in the 150s, and then you fucking pound the table for him at 177.
Now we just talk about how he's the best tight end in the league. Like, how are you guys letting this guy, who is an athletic freak, plays more of a wide receiver role usually, even though there's reports about him blocking more this year, and you guys let him fall 30 picks past ADP?
You say stuff like this. I mean, yeah, I know he's blocking more, but the upside case has not changed.
Right. Exactly. All right. So
this team needs fucking Will Fuller, right?
This team needs Will Fuller.
This team needs Will Fuller.
Are you
out on Will Fuller?
No, but it's weird. Will Fuller's. I mean, like, I don't want to be out on Will Fuller, and yet we need to put out a missing persons poster for him because nobody even knows what's going on with him.
I wouldn't blame you for being out on Will Fuller. Will Fuller is out on Will Fuller.
That's my point. Like it's the middle of August now, and we have no idea if he's even going to play. I mean, as an 8th wide receiver, the upside's there. Unfortunately, if he does go to Cleveland, he does get his quarterback, which is a whole thing that I don't even want to talk about. But yeah, I mean, like, there's some massive upside for him. It's just, where the fuck is he? Like, no one even knows where he is.
Let's see what our quarterback spot is. Look at the chat. Can't waste a spot. You guys fucking playing scared. No one's playing for a fucking min cash in the big dog. Get the hell out of here.
No, we're going to win the big dog.
See, if it was a 3 quarterback build, we could have galaxy brained, a little Malik Willis or something at the end, but we can't.
Well, that was my galaxy brain thought for when it was 20 rounds.
Right. I mean, trust me, beautiful strategy if this contest was structured differently.
If it was structured the way it's supposed to be, is what I'll say.
Let me see our wide receivers. Who are our stack options here?
So we have CeeDee, AJ Brown, Jerry Jeudy, MVS, Traylon Burks, McCole Hardman, Alec Pierce, and William Fuller.
So basically what you're telling me is we need to guess who William Fuller is going to be catching passes from.
That's pretty much
hope they're still on the board.
That's basically it. Do you think, what about, So like galaxy braining William Fuller takes. What do you think about him going to Carolina? It's his warm climate that he likes, the third wide receiver spot.
Hang on. I mean, Carolina's not that warm, but you're right. It's not Cleveland or
It's not
Green Bay
Green
cold.
Bay that everyone's trying to get him to
Yeah.
go to that he has no interest in going to play in.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It feels like they need a third wide receiver. Feels like that they're not trying to lose if they get Baker Mayfield, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he ends up there.
Yeah. What are our tight ends again? I think I might reframe our 3 tight end thing. We might be able to raw dog this with Everett and Gesicki if we want to get to 3 quarterbacks.
I think it's a thing that we could talk about since Gesicki did fall so far to us.
Yeah.
A full 30 rounds past ADP, 27 picks past ADP, which is insanity. And we could probably go 2 QBs here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely have to take Tannehill in this build, but I am okay going 3 QBs over 3 tight ends. That's generally my preference.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could take a really big upside swing, although I don't even know what upside swings that is. I really don't want to take Watson.
I don't want to take Watson either.
But do you agree Tannehill's probably the pick here?
Or do
you have another?
I wish we had a Panther because I would have liked to do Baker and then do Malik.
You want to do Baker and then Tommy Tremble?
Ugh. All right. Do you want to do Tannehill? It correlates week 17.
I think Tannehill's the right move.
Tannehill's probably the right play. So
let me see you know what? If this room gives us an unstacked Zach Wilson at this price, that feels fine.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to guess that Felix takes Zach Wilson right now. Just knowing him the way I know him.
Well, here, let me tell you a story. It's week 17. Kenneth Walker's fully recovered from this hernia. He's bulldozing his way to a 200-yard rushing game, and Zach Wilson is just running for his life, taking off designed runs, 50-yard. We've seen it before. Just gets to 100 yards rushing. Yeah.
Hitting Will Fuller down the sideline.
Hitting Will Fuller, who has joined the Jets, famously warm weather climate without any other wide receiver options there.
All right. So we want to do Zach.
Yeah. Scroll down. Is there anything other more galaxy? I mean, if we had a guy like Pitts or London, I'd be pushing for Ritter, but the Zach Wilson, Kenneth Walker correlation is just so fucking juicy. I don't know how you pass it up.
With Will Fuller. Don't forget that.
You're right. Corey Davis is going to retire and Will Fuller is going to sign there.
Yeah. So it's Zach Wilson and Will Fuller with the Kenneth Walker bring back. Yeah. I mean, I think this team's better than the team we drafted last year.
We should have done Baker for the Leonard Fournette bring back. That same thesis was in play there.
Oh yeah, because Will Fuller's also going to play for the Carolina Panthers this year. Yeah, and it would have worked as well. I mean, either one's fine. I probably would prefer Baker, but whatever. I mean, Zach Wilson's just as fine.
Did anyone draft a nice team in here? I'm loath to give any of these badge bros credit, but are there any teams people are salivating over?
Let's see in the chat and we'll come back.
Who had the best team? And here's the rule. It's like you can't vote for yourself. Who had the best team that's not yourself? Is there a consensus here? Because Lord knows I don't know because I haven't seen the fucking draft board the entire draft.
Well, no one has, to be perfectly honest. I should have thought of this one because I really like Huntley and 20 round stuff. So as a real wild swing, Lamar goes down. I think Huntley is just really good stuff.
Dude, I think we might be at the exact same amount of Best Ball Mania drafts completed. I got to check this. Dude, dead similar.
Dead similar.
112. 112. I just checked the tape. 112. Incredible.
That's
We're
amazing.
actually very similar, dude. So you have 39 puppy threes. I'm at 30 puppy threes. Let me see your puppy two. You're at 27 puppy twos. I'm at 32 puppy twos. How many initial puppies? Okay, you got me in the first one. I was only at 25 initial puppies.
Yeah, and the Pomeranian, I actually maxed out. I just have a bunch of slow drafts going. So
Okay, yeah. I missed the window on that first Pomeranian. I was only at 3.
I luckily had a slow day at work and was able to just pound through drafts. So that was nice. And then the Royal Rumble draft right here, the famous Royal Rumble draft that will be following the entire year. That I just went back and had to clip something from when you had Evan Silver show up.
I did. I saw that on there. That was a good moment.
It was really an underrated moment. All right, let's go over our team, and then spot 4. I'm seeing the 101 spot 4 people want to look at. So for us, we had Hurts, Tannehill, Wilson at quarterback. At running back, we had Fournette, Hall, Stevenson, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker. And then wide receiver is CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Jerry Jeudy, MVS, Traylon Burks, Mecole Hardman, Alec Pierce, William Fuller. For an avalanche room and us not just pounding wide receiver, I think we got a really solid wide receiver squad here.
Yeah.
And then tight end, we're a little light, but I don't think we're too bad off with Gerald Everett and Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, we had to make kind of one concession there, and I'm always willing to make the concession at tight end of all places.
All right, let's look at this. The 101, I saw people saying, and I saw the 104. So the 101 has Stafford, Lawrence, and Wentz at QB. I don't know if I would have taken a third QB. Let's see what the rest of the team is. McCaffrey, Kamara, David Montgomery. So it's an automatic fail, even though it is 36 picks past ADP on David Montgomery. Alexander Madison for his 4th. DJ Moore, Godwin, Amon-Ra, Christian Kirk, DeAndre Hopkins. That's pretty nice for this room. Chase Claypool, Jacoby Myers, Curtis Samuel. And I'm not going to pretend I know who Ben Skowronek is of the LA Rams. And then Evan Ingram and Robert
He pulled our
Tonyan.
tight end strategy.
Yeah, did the same exact thing. So I don't understand the third quarterback with Wentz, and I don't even think it is stacked with Samuel. And I don't. So what does Jacoby Myers do for this team? Is my only other question here.
Yeah, Jacoby's just one of those find yourself in a weird pocket of the draft, and if you're feeling like you need wide receivers, but it's not a fun pocket.
But when you have more Godwin, Amon-Ra, Christian Kirk, Hopkins coming back after 6 games,
well,
Chase Claypool, I don't think you need Myers.
The only thing I would say though is if you're not expecting, obviously you're not getting 6 games from Hopkins. Godwin could take a little bit to get up to speed. You could be buried early there. So I kind of understand a Myers-esque pick within that context.
I guess for me, if I'm hitting Godwin and I'm hitting him hard, I just think he's ready to play week 1. Is kind of the way I'm approaching that.
Yeah.
But I do understand that thought process.
Oh, we're going to pull up Chris G here. Great.
Burrow, Daniel Jones. He ends up with Baker. Then he's got Aaron Jones, Damian Harris, James Cook, Brian Robinson, and Eno Benjamin. Jamar Chase, Deontay Johnson, Sky Moore, Garrett Wilson, Russell Gage, Wandale, Robbie Anderson.
Wandale for Chris.
Sorry, Wandale. And Robbie Anderson, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and
the bully tight end.
Bully tight end.
I don't know if I had the stones to. I certainly get it in some of those rooms, right, where Waller and Kittle will egregiously fall. I don't know if I would have forced bully tight end in this room.
Yeah. I think that your points made, his wide receivers. I know Deontay is a pretty high pick, but I guess I'm out on Deontay Johnson this year based on where he's getting drafted. So it feels like his wide receivers are a little weaker than they have to be because of that second tight end pick. If he could have just like backed up another pick around there, I probably would have liked this team a lot more. I don't hate the team, but that's just kind of where I'd be going with it.
It's a good structure.
Yeah, it's definitely a good structure.
Chris says he hates his team, so permission to tell him he's a fucking idiot.
That's just the way I look at it, especially when knowing the room you're in, the room we were in tonight. The bully tight end is you're really trying to thread the needle with the wide receiver position at that point.
Yeah,
is what I would say. I guess spot 3 we can look at, and then we'll probably get out of here.
Mr. Fister. Oh, sniper. We got Harbs here.
Yep. So we have Lamar and Kirk Cousins, Javonte Williams, Elijah Mitchell, Cordero Patterson, Kenneth Gainwell, who actually went 14 spots past ADP.
Wow.
So you
still feel great about my bet, but I was on the wrong take there of assuming Gainwell would go near ADP.
He rounds that out with Jamal Williams.
Swag Daddy.
He's got Justin Jefferson, Rashad Bateman, Brandon Ayuk, Rondale, George Pickens, Christian Watson, Paris Campbell, Noah Brown, Kyle Pitts, Brevin Jordan, and Jonnu.
What are let me see what are his stacks?
So he's got Lamar with Bateman. He's got Jefferson with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. This is a nice team. This is probably the best team we've looked at.
I do like it. I guess he doesn't need the third tight end with Kyle Pitts, but I know he pushed both of those spots, so it's not bad. Like, I don't think it's bad.
What's the deal with Noah Brown? So someone fill me in. What's going on with an unstacked Noah Brown?
I think people are just looking for any way to get a part of that Dallas offense, and with the Gallup injury, they're just looking for a reason to pick somebody else on that offense, right? Like, that's the only thing I can come up with. I'm not taking Noah Brown. I think I took him once in the last round on a Dak team where I had like Dak, CeeDee, and I was just like, I'll just double stack Dak here with Noah Brown, and that was it. But
I just have a hard time with all like the late round wide receiver options. Basically anything after round 15 or 16 are so inspiring, uninspiring that if I'm not correlating, like you can talk yourself. I can talk myself into fucking Velus Jones when I have Justin Fields, but if I don't have like in a vacuum wide receiver picks late, I mean, it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm usually correlating them with my quarterback. So like Quez Watkins, right? I grabbed some Quez Watkins, but it's usually only when I have Hurts as like a second player to stack them with. And to your point, Noah Brown, I would probably only grab if I had Dak. It would that's the only time I would grab him. And if I'm grabbing late here instead of Noah Brown, I mean, I like to skinny stack Lamar a lot of the times, but why wouldn't I just grab? Usually you can get Duvernay or Crochet or something real late, and maybe I would just make that bet a little bit more than the other one.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think we're going to win the entire thing, though.
All in all, that was my takeaway, too.
Yeah, I mean, our team is solid. We're a little weak at tight end, but I'm okay with it based on the way this draft went and the way we were able to weave in and out of the avalanche and grab some of the picks. It looks like we grabbed running backs more frequently earlier than we normally would, and yet we still have a good wide receiver room.
I'm gonna send Leone a little screenshot of this Josh Jacobs pick for us.
Is Leone? So I've listened to some of Leone's stuff, of course. Is he big on Josh Jacobs this year?
he's just big at being a value hound when the piss boys are letting these guys fall. I mean, what was it in the show when he was? I think it was like at pick 82 or something, and we just took him at 112.
That was the night that he was running through the streets of Buffalo.
Correct.
Yeah. So I did listen to that show. Yeah, he was screaming for Josh Jacobs that night.
Yeah,
and when he goes out running, you have to give it to him too, right?
Exactly. Yeah, Josh Jacobs at 112 is pretty outrageous.
I mean, I'm out on Josh Jacobs, but
me too. We all are.
50 picks past ADP. If that's what you guys are going to give us, we're going to take it. We get Walker 23 picks past ADP as well. I mean, look at all of our running backs.
I mean, this
We got
team would be the absolute nuts if we had Miles Sanders instead of Ramondre
that's
Stevenson.
horseshit. That is absolute horseshit.
Hey, anytime you could just be a homer. You know
That's
what?
not
You got.
even about being a homer.
Oh
It's
yeah,
about
Mister.
Miles Sanders just being bad at football now.
Here's the thing: you got bailed out because we were able to get the Gesicki Week 17 correlation. Otherwise, you would have had nothing to stand on.
I mean, I knew Gesicki was going to be their 27 picks past ADP in this draft, is what I would say to that. All right, Pete. I think we can let you get out of here on a Friday night. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we jump out?
No, this is fun. Thank you for having me. If you guys want to see me continue to make tequila infused selections tonight over on Ship Chasing, we are drafting another main event team with our friends Hassan Rahim and Blair Andrews from Rotoviz. So that'll be fun. We've had 3 straight nights of FFPC drafts over there on Ship Chasing. And yeah, otherwise I'll be back. Actually, yeah, I think I'm going to do a big dog draft with Brick tomorrow. So if you guys want more big dog action, more badge brigade action, you can watch me and Brick do a team tomorrow night.
Nice. You're drinking margarita tonight. I had 10 pickleback shots last night.
Jesus, dude.
It was a rough night, rough morning. So I'm glad we did this at 8 p.m. and not 6, because it gave me an extra 2 hours to get prepared to draft the best big dog team of all time. So make sure you guys check out Ship Chasing tonight. Check out Eric on Monday, who will be drafting a team. And other than that, we will catch you later.